I played 11 cozy games in the month of May, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing all of them. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Payton. It is nice to meet you, it is nice to see you, and welcome to the corner. It is that time again. The time at the end of the month we recap what the heck happened all month in cozy gaming, specifically cozy gaming here on Payton's Corner. In case you're new here, hi, I love cozy games, and I love to let you know about upcoming cozy games every single month. But I don't like to just tell you about the games coming out and then that's it, that's where it ends. I really love to check back in with you, let you know what I ended up playing, and most importantly, what I ended up liking and not liking. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 11 new cozy games that I played this month. There are some games for Nintendo Switch and some for PC. Regardless, they are all brand new cozy games that came out in May. I've done this video 2 times in the past now, and how this pretty much works is I like to call these first impressions reviews, as unfortunately, because there are so many games, so little time, I was not able to finish any of these games, but I was able to play each of them for a few hours to really get my first impressions, and I'll be giving you an overview of my thoughts on each game, as well as a pros and a cons list. So from there, you can decide if the game is worth purchasing for you, or if maybe it's worth a skip. Today's video would not have been possible had I not been sent so many of these games to try out this month. In fact, in today's video, 10 of the 11 cozy games were sent to me. But just because I'm sent a game does not mean I'm automatically going to love the game and that I will not have criticism for the games. But just to be transparent, I will let you know which games were actually gifted to me as we get started. But before we get into it, please be sure to click the lovely little like button as well as subscribe for more cozy, chaotic content. And if you want to see me play cozy games live, I live stream right on this YouTube channel 3 times a week. In fact, a lot of these games that you'll see on the list, I actually streamed on the channel. So we would love to see you on a live stream to test out more cozy games together. Okay, I have talked long enough and there is a lot more talking to do, so I'll shut up and let's get into it. Today I'm not going in any kind of particular order. All of these games came out at different dates in the month. I tried them at varying times. This is just the order I came up with for you, and that's it. The first game on the list is called Hello, Good Boy. And Hello, Good Boy was very kindly gifted to me by Rolling Glory Jam, so thank you so much for allowing me to play the game and put it in today's video. And Hello, Good Boy is available for both PC and Nintendo Switch, but I did my playthrough on PC. Hello, Good Boy is a heartwarming, wholesome narrative adventure game featuring Aiko, a boy who is new to the afterlife. With no memory of what brought him to the world beyond, he must rely on Coco, a strangely familiar and insanely adorable dog who will help him solve the mysteries of this new existence. In the game, you'll journey through the unknown yet familiar places, each based off of one of the 4 seasons. You'll meet fellow souls on their own adventures through the afterlife, and you'll need to pay it forward with generous favors for them to try to figure out why Aiko landed in the land beyond to begin with. However, in the game you'll need to mind your time, as there is only so much of it. The game will provide you with a select number of big decisions via a magical hourglass, and your experience of the game will depend entirely on what options you choose. Now let's start with my pros for Hello, Good Boy. Starting with what I think is the obvious, the adorable picture book-like art style. Hello, Good Boy manages to balance a deep and quite heavy subject line with bright and captivating art that is sure to bring joy to players. By the looks of this game, you wouldn't really think there is a whole lot of depth to it, but don't get the cutesy style twisted. This game definitely has a lot to say. While I enjoy the character style, my favorite part of the visuals, other than Coco, of course, who is adorable, are the actual realms there are to explore. Each one is based off of a different season, and each one feels beautiful in its own unique and special way. The game makes you really want to explore each and every one of these areas. But other than the art, another pro I have for Hello Good Boy is its narrative style. The game dialogue feels simple, easy to understand, but effective. In addition to this simplicity, the game mechanics themselves take on a simple but cozy style. The gameplay mechanic pretty much centers on light exploration, where mainly you just need to clear off spaces that have been infected with this black liquid, which is called the Black Wid, and it's pretty much these dark spots that creep into your mind and make everything unsettling. Other than that, the characters will ask you to help them with certain tasks, and these will consist of you solving puzzles and making choices on how much time you want to spend with them. I think that the overall light and simple gameplay mechanic really serves to this game because it puts so much more of a focus on the actual story that we're getting, so it really feels like helping out and listening to the new characters is the most important part of the game. Now that you've heard the pros, let's get into the cons for Hello Good Boy. My biggest con for the game is that out of the 4 seasonal doors you get to explore, you can actually only choose 2 per playthrough, which means that if you want to see and meet everyone and do all of the things, you need to actually play the game multiple times through to make that happen. Of course, that's absolutely a pro for replayability purposes and overall gameplay time, but I would really just love if we could explore all 4 areas in one playthrough without needing to start over, go through all the intro and all of that. It would be awesome if we could do it all at once. Overall, I really loved playing Hello Good Boy. I played the demo of this game a few months back, and the full release did not disappoint with how much I really liked the demo. This game to me is the epitome of joy and tugging at your heartstrings in the right way. This game is like what cozy gaming is about. It is a relaxing yet deeply meaningful and joyous experience. The next game on the list is one of several early access inclusions we have, and this one is called Finding Hannah. And Finding Hannah was very kindly gifted to me, so thank you so much to Find Games for sending me a key to check out the game and include it in the video. Finding Hannah is available right now for PC and in the App Store. However, I did my entire playthrough on Steam Deck and it ran amazing. Finding Hannah is a relaxing puzzle game about a woman navigating a midlife crisis. Hannah's got it all: a well-paying job, a fancy coffee machine, and a comfortable life. So why isn't she happy? In the game, you'll lead her on a journey of self-discovery as you explore beautiful scenes and find hidden objects. The current early access version follows the first 3 episodes of the story that will take you through Hannah's current life and the lives and experiences of her mother and her grandmother, all of which have very different stories to tell and aesthetics to discover. Now let's start out with my pros for Finding Hannah. Starting out, I think this game is a steal price-wise, okay? I'm all about saving money here. This game is only $6.99, and for that price, I think you actually get hours and hours of content, a captivating story, and overall an exceedingly cozy puzzle experience. Another major pro I have for the game is that I really love how the puzzles work. They take this classic, what I call Where is Waldo or I Spy kind of style where you pretty much just need to find things. They take that and bring it to a whole nother level. With beautiful and complex scenes, you can stare at the screen and think you have it completely memorized, but then you'll notice even more details you missed at your last glance. And when you think you have the puzzle mechanics down, they change it up. Sometimes you're given the names of objects to find, where sometimes you're just given silhouettes to find, and sometimes the object's location changes. So once you think you figured it out, you didn't. I also love how the gameplay is structured overall. The main gameplay mechanic will present a scene showing an issue in Hannah's life. Then we're taken to a puzzle related to the scene we just saw or heard. After each solve of the puzzle, we unlock more and more of the scene until we eventually finish the chapter. But you don't get to just breeze through chapter, ending the game super quickly. In the game, you need to have a certain amount of tokens to unlock the next section, and you get tokens through solving additional merge-style puzzles, all all with fun objects that have to do with Hannah and her story. And I love the merge puzzles so much that I actually find myself excited when I do not have enough tokens to continue on, so I can take a nice little break and enjoy the merge puzzle. Puzzle solving aside, I really love the narrative the game is telling, focusing on 3 complicated women at very different stages in their lives and their relationship to each other. It makes the game feel so important and so captivating. This game might just look like an aesthetic game, but there are a lot of complexities in this one that make it far more than just a pretty puzzle game. That being said, let's get on to our cons for finding Hannah. I don't really have any. First, I will say at first, I thought that the puzzles were going to feel repetitive. I was wondering how many hours you could really play this game without it just being the same thing over and over again, because personally, there's only so much like Where is Waldo I can take. But boy was I wrong, because as I said, they continue to change up the puzzles, making it feel exciting, and there's always more things to discover when you think you figured it out. Overall, I loved my experience playing Finding Hannah so far. I cannot wait for more of the story. I am deeply intrigued and captivated, and I think overall, this was probably one of the most relaxing games I played this month. The next game on the list is called Panorama. And Panorama was very kindly gifted to me, so thank you so much to Awaken Realms for sending me the key to check out the game. Panorama right now is only available on PC, and that is exactly how I played it. Panorama is a relaxing puzzle simulation game that allows you to create breathtaking landscapes using different types of tiles. In Panorama, you'll be transported to a world of beauty and tranquility, where you can take a break from the stress of everyday life and enjoy the relaxing music, the peaceful ambiance, and most importantly, the soothing vistas of your own creation. In Panorama, you will discover a wide range of structures, each with their own unique abilities that will enhance your landscape creation process. Whether you want to create a serene forest surrounding a forester's lodge, an endless ocean full of geysers, or even a bustling city filled with unique buildings, the possibilities are limitless. While it is a relaxing builder, Panorama also offers plenty of challenges for players who want to test their skills and take their creativity to the next level. You can compete against other players by beating their high scores and creating even more impressive landscapes. So whether you just want to unwind with a relaxing puzzle game or push yourself for a challenge, Panorama has something for everyone. Before I jump into pros and cons like I normally do, let me just address something really quickly about this game. When I first mentioned Panorama on this channel, I had a lot of you guys tell me that you thought Panorama looked just like another popular cozy game from last year called Dorfromantik. So I also played Dorfromantik, and I can confirm they are indeed not the exact same game. Although both are landscaped builders that utilize a similar type of tile placement, I find that Dorfromantik is actually a lot more challenging and a lot less aesthetically complex, where Panorama seems to be a bit more relaxing and have more of an emphasis on creating diverse buildings and structures rather than just placing the tiles in the exact spot they need to go. I would say overall, Dorfromantik is a better challenging puzzle game, where Panorama is a better relaxing building puzzle game. Personally, I've enjoyed playing both of these games. They feel different enough that you can enjoy both of them, but I actually, out of the two, do prefer Panorama a little bit more. So that being said, let me tell you about the pros of this game to tell you why. My biggest pro for Panorama is its ease. This really feels like the epitome of a relaxing building puzzle game. The music is peaceful, the visuals are gorgeous, and the gameplay mechanic is actually pretty easy to follow. Panorama will actually tell you how many points you get for putting the tile in every single option you have available, therefore feeling less stressful than if you were to just kind of guess on your own. Despite the game outlining the points for you, the game is actually still pretty challenging, specifically if you want to unlock all of the structures possible in the game. Something else I love about Panorama is that your creation actually kind of feels alive. and the tiles and structures behave like real areas. There are even adorable little animals that can wander around your creation. Now that you've heard the pros, let's get into the cons I have for Panorama. As for the cons, I actually don't have a lot negative to say about Panorama. Really, my only con is that the game does technically work on Steam Deck. However, I find it to be a little bit clunky and not as seamless as it is on PC, and I just really think this game would be suited in a handheld way, and I think right now on Steam Deck, while playable, it kind of takes the relaxation factor out of it. However, that could just be my opinion. That's really my only con. I wish this one was accessible for console, either Nintendo Switch, fingers crossed we get a Nintendo Switch release, or that it was playable on Steam Deck, just to make it even more relaxing than it already is. Overall, I think Panorama does exactly what it sets out to do. It is a relaxing puzzle game that focuses more so on building and creativity rather than perfect tile placement. So far, I've really been enjoying it, and I have yet to unlock every single structure, so I'm excited to keep playing this one, unwinding, and seeing how far I can take my creations. The next game on the list is an early access title, and this one is called The Ranch of Rivershine. And The Ranch of Rivershine was also very kindly gifted to me, so thank you so much to Cozy Bee Games for sending me the key to check out the game. This game right now, like I said, is available in early access, which means it's only on PC for now, but fingers crossed we see it on some consoles later on. The Ranch of Rivershine is an adorable life and farming sim game all about horses. In the game, you'll get to saddle up and build your own horse ranch. You'll raise foals, care for your horses, and train them as you explore the Western wilderness. You'll participate in cross-country competitions and become your town's champion. And you'll be able to befriend all of the villagers who will help you on your adventure. Now let's get into my pros for the game. My number one pro for the game is the horses. Now, I am not well-versed in horse cozy gaming. In fact, I did not even really know that there is a whole subgenre of cozy gaming dedicated to people who love horse games. I was not aware this was a thing. This is kind of my first horse game other than the Barbie horse game I loved as a child, so the horses are my favorite part of this game. I love that you start the game at an auction house with the option to, almost as I called it on my stream, swiping left or right on the horses that you want. And you pretty much get to pick the horse just based off of like what they look like, and they all look different with different styles, and they all have different stats with their potential that'll help you when you go into training them for competition. In the game, you can name your horse, find new horses, buy new horses, sell new horses, and take care of the horses, which is a lot of fun. I also really like in this game that you can literally go everywhere and do everything on top of your horse. In other farming sim games, I always love to use a horse to get around. It's just seemingly a lot faster. But a lot of times when you're playing other farming sim games, if you want to go inside of a building or if you want to interact with an NPC, you usually have to get off of your horse. In this one, the doors just bust right open for you. You stroll in on your horse. It feels like you never have to get off your horse to do anything in this game. And another pro I have is I really like the portrait styles of the NPCs in the game. Now that you've heard the pros, let's get into my cons. Keeping in mind, this is an early access unfinished game, and these are just my first impressions of what I played. My number one con for the Ranch of Rivershine is while the world feels really big, it feels empty. There are often lifeless NPCs just kind of standing around, and when you interact with them, they don't have a name or serve any type of purpose. And for the most part, it just feels like a lot of open space. While I get wanting to have a wide open land, rural feeling, it just kind of feels like the world isn't fully complete in this one. Along with this, there isn't really a concrete story. You're kind of just dropped at this ranch, you get a horse, and then you're kind of on your way. It just feels like there could be a little bit more going on to really drive what you're meant to do, as I felt a lot of my gameplay was me just kind of roaming around and hoping for the best. Another con I have for the game is the actual competition part. I really like that there are different levels you can train with, and there are different fences and obstacles you can have, but I found the controls for this part were a little bit clunky. I did play on mouse and keyboard. I'm not sure if this is better with a controller or even if there is controller support ready and working for this game, but I found it a little bit difficult to manage having my horse move, steering the camera, having them jump, and not having everything hit each other. I also found the navigation just difficult in general, as a lot of times I felt like I couldn't back up my horse, and also sometimes I felt like the camera was just in a strange spot. Overall, I feel like this game is one of the ones on the list that I need to do a little bit more exploration on. So far, it feels like there are a lot of really cute ideas and things already in the game, but it feels like this one has a lot of potential for the things that aren't quite in there yet. For an early access game, I do think it is cute and there are some really nice aspects of it. However, I'm not sure in its current state about its $30 price tag, but I do know they have lots of fun plans coming up for this one, so I think that price tag may be better suited when the full game comes out. Regardless, I'm excited to continue to explore this game as my first horse game. It was a nice introduction into the genre, and I'm excited to test it out a little bit more. The next game on the list is actually another early access title, and this one is called The Witch of Fern Island. And The Witch of Fern Island is available to play right now just on PC, and that is how I played it. The Witch of Fern Island is an adventure, life, and farming simulator game where you play as a young girl training to be a witch. After crash landing onto Fern Island during her travels to a magical academy, the young witch makes the most of this situation, still eager to become a full-fledged witch even though her plans got derailed. In the game, you'll get to explore Fern Island and all of its mysteries to help out with your training. Along the way, you'll get to grow herbs and magical plants, raise animals of unusual nature, and experiment with enchantments of plants and animals. You'll also get to brew magical potions at your customizable cottage, craft amulets, summon cute and surprisingly helpful familiars, and eventually get to perform complex rituals to channel raw magic to command the weather. You'll also get to meet a variety of NPCs that are a part of 3 diverse magical cultures on the island, and as you befriend them, you'll get to learn more about their stories and the history of the island. Now let's get into the pros. My number 1 pro for the game is its overall premise. If you've seen this channel before, it's no secret. I like farming, and I like magic. I love that this game takes farming and makes it whimsical and magical, but it doesn't stop with the farming. You're also able to ride a broom around, cast spells, and also make and sell other magical goods. These ideas are super exciting to me, and while I didn't get to experience all of them in my short playthrough of the game, it makes me want to keep playing and exploring more. Another pro I have in the game is the customizations. The buildings are all super cute, and each one feels nicely decorated and very aesthetically pleasing, as well as I love the characters' outfits and the different options for clothing. I also really love seeing the animals in the game, from your little cat companion to the foxes hanging around. It definitely succeeds in giving a cozy, magical feeling. Now that you've heard the pros, let me tell you about the cons. Once again, very similar to the Ranch of Rivershine, keeping in mind this is an early access game, and I kind of just got a first impressions of that early access game. While I love how big the map is, it is also very difficult to get around. Now, I am historically bad at navigation, but I did find the navigation in this game to be challenging even if you're not Payton'sCorner. I feel like things weren't really labeled clearly, and I was constantly unsure of where exactly I was meant to be going. That aside, my major con with the game is that it does indeed feel like an early access game. And by that, I mean it feels unfinished. It's not that this one doesn't have content, it just feels similar to the Ranch of Rivershine for me, where it feels like we have this big idea for this world, and there are things in it, but it still kind of just feels empty. And it feels like it just needs a little bit more life into it, but I can see the potential there. Another con I have is overall the controls and the visuals were sometimes a bit clunky, but this I would just imagine is because it's an early access game. Overall, this one is another one that I feel like I need to take a little bit more time with, but so far I've enjoyed what I've been playing and I see the potential in this one a lot. I think it has great aesthetics, great ideas, and it does succeed in the overall cozy, magical feeling. But I do think it needs some more polishing, some more direction, and overall, some more content. I am really excited to see this game's full release and be able to to really experience all that I know is going to be in this game, because I think it's going to be an exciting one to really check out. The next game on the list is called Above Snakes, and I was very kindly gifted a key to check out this game, so thank you so much to Crytivo for sending me the key so I can include the game in today's review. Right now, Above Snakes is only available on PC. I did my entire playthrough on my Steam Deck, and it ran great. Above Snakes is an adventure, RPG, survival, and building game. In the game, you play as a young girl seemingly alone in a distraught, Western-style world. You'll get to build your own world piece by piece while navigating various biomes and battling against the elements, or even worse, dangerous lost souls, which are like zombies. They are zombies, pretty much. In the game, you'll gather resources, construct bases, craft weapons and tools to hunt, fish, farm, and fight. You'll be able to unleash your creativity and create the world of your dreams from different biomes. Each biome offers various materials and resources that you can use to progress through your adventure and to build your own equipment and base. While the game does have a main storyline, you can complete it at your own pace if you prefer to relax and focus on building your base. Now let's start out with the pros I have for the game. My biggest pro for Above Snakes is the world building. I really enjoy the unlocking of new biomes and being able to place each new tile to expand the world. With each new tile you place, you unlock new things, whether that's animals roaming around, new plants, and even new people and opportunities to move along the story. I also really enjoy the management style of the game. It's a survival game, so you know, it's important to keep your character alive. You need to make sure you eat, you drink, you sleep, but also, and very interestingly, keep your character's sanity in check with the crazy world of zombies that's happening. All of this feels apparent and relevant to the game, but it's not overwhelming. So in my few hours of gameplay, I definitely focused more on crafting and building rather than following the main storyline, and I didn't feel like managing the character's needs was too overwhelming and intrusive to what I was trying to do. Let's get into the cons for Above Snakes. This first con would not be a con for everyone. This is just coming from me in the idea of this being a cozy gaming channel, as I do kind of I consider this one a cozy-ish game. I consider it a cozy-ish game. So, in case you're into cozy gaming, you may or may not like this. And that is that there is hunting in the game. Now, there is light combat with the zombies that come around, but honestly, that's not super high stakes and it doesn't feel scary. Maybe that's because the characters are really small compared to the world, so you're not seeing everything all close up and personal, but being that it is a survival game, there is the inclusion of animal hunting. Now, in my playthrough, I have not been forced to indulge in the animal hunting. There are bunnies and there are deer that you can hunt and use for food and various other resources. I haven't had a quest that has made me do hunting. I am not sure if there is. I could foresee that being a thing. Some of you might not care about this at all. It's just not my favorite thing. I definitely don't mind fishing. I like fishing, but the actual killing the deer or killing the bunny is just, it's not really my kind of thing. I did try it in the game to just see what it was like. And like I said with the zombies, it was super small and it wasn't super violent. So I think that it might not bother people. I just think it's something to note. It's a survival game. You need to do some of these survival type things that maybe you may or may not want to do. Overall, I think Above Snakes does manage to be a survival game with hunting and zombies, but still relaxing. We can debate if it's cozy. We cannot debate it is definitely relaxing. I definitely did not feel stressed playing this one. I thought I would, just based off of the premise. I was actually very relaxed. The visuals I thought were really nice. The music was really calming. And overall, I didn't feel threatened or terrified that I was in a world of zombies, which I thought maybe I might. The next game on the list is called Paws of Coal. And Paws of Coal was very kindly gifted to me, so thank you so much to GameChuck and for Keymailer for sending me a key to check out this game. Right now, this game is only available on PC, and and that is how I played it. Paws of Coal is a cozy, slow-paced detective adventure with gameplay influenced by the scientific method. In the game, quests are solved by connecting evidence. If you get it right, the mystery is solved. But if you get it wrong, everyone could be in danger, so it's your job to tread carefully. In the game, you play as Charles, a scholar on a mission sent by His Majesty to help the critters of the burrows where there is an outbreak on the rise. Is it dangerous, or is it just a mere nuisance? It's up to Charles to find out what the heck is going on. The investigation is solved by talking to each resident of the burrows, finding clues in the environment, and making a lot of notes, and connecting dots using the interface in Charles's journal. When you're sure that you've collected enough evidence and you've got it right, you could submit your report and pretty much hope for the best. Paws of Coal is a short, standalone game set in the larger Trip the Ark fantastic universe that's currently in development. Paws of Coal is a shorter game that offers around 3 to 4 hours of gameplay, depending on how fast you want to take it, and has multiple endings. So let's get into the pros of Paws of Coal. My biggest pro for Paws of Coal is the Disney-esque character and art style. I really love how the world feels and how each of the characters look. It's really fun to explore and see what and who you're going to meet next. I also really like how the dialogue is written out in this game. It's almost kind of like in play format. Perhaps I'm biased as I am a playwright, but I liked how it was laid out. It made the large amount of information and text a lot easier to digest. I also enjoy that the game will automatically highlight important clues to make your gameplay experience a little bit easier, so you have to pay attention, but it helps you out a bit. Other than that, I also really enjoy the fact it does offer tons of options and for you to have multiple endings. Now on to the cons for this one. The major con for this one is I struggled a lot with the text. Although it was broken apart nicely, like I just said, it is a lot of reading. Being that this is kind of like a visual novel-esque game, I was prepared for reading. I do like visual novels, I do like to read. However, in this one, you are reading very complex medical terminology and other highly elevated vocab words that, to be honest, I had to Google to understand. This would be fine if this wasn't the entire game, and if the whole game wasn't about you needing to pay attention to every single detail that is said to you. I also struggled with the overwhelming amount of options in the game. I felt like sometimes there would be up to 6 dialogue options for a simple inquiry, some of which I wasn't sure if it was entirely necessary to have that many options. Overall, I think this game might actually be more fun to play in a group of people where you all can join in together, pay attention, and maybe even read out the different characters. I think would be super fun. Or to play this one solo on a time where you can solely dedicate your time to focusing in on the game. This isn't really one that is, I think, relaxing. It's not really one that you can put on while doing something else. Like, I think a lot of cozy games are kind of like that. This one definitely requires your full attention to be able to get the most out of it. But that being said, overall, I do really like the concept of this game. I think it's really fun. We have all of these rodents with this mystery, and I do really like the concept, and I'm interested to see how this will translate to a longer form game. The next game on the list is called No Place Like Home. And No Place Like Home was very kindly gifted to me, so thank you so much to Hooligan PR and to Merge Games for sending me the key to check this one out. This one is available both on PC and Nintendo Switch, but my experience was playing it on the Switch. No Place Like Home is a cute and relaxing sim where you play as Ellen Newland, a girl who decides to visit her grandfather on Earth for the very last time before she moves to Mars. However, she soon discovers that her grandpa is missing and that his farm was recently destroyed. With questions on her mind and adventure in her heart, Ellen intends to save the environment, help the community, find her grandpa, and rescue all of the animals missing from the farm. The game will allow you to farm, find and befriend animals, decorate, and mainly clean up a lot of trash. Now let's get into the pros of the game. My main pro of the game is that cleaning up the absurd, crazy amount of trash in this game is deeply satisfying. This is how you get all of your resources, and once it's cleared, it feels so good and it feels right. I also really like the idea of saving the animals. As you clear more and more trash, you'll find different trapped animals that need your help, and once you clear the trash, they can come back to your farm. The animals in general are absolutely adorable, and you can even customize them with adorable little hats. Going off of that, I really love that the game has a lot of humor in it. From memes, to funny dialogue, to literally having a disco party with your chickens, the solar punk atmosphere definitely is not too dark here, and the overall vibe is lighthearted and fun. That being said, let's get into my cons for No Place Like Home. My biggest con for the game is that the controls, at least on the Nintendo Switch, feel a little bit clunky. I think that I got the hang of it after a while, but it definitely took a long time for me to get there. I also really did not like the tutorial for this game at all. The game starts with you pretty much walking down a long road that has different signs on it, and the signs teach you how to do everything in the game at one time. But the problem is, it's just pictures. There is no text to explain anything. I kind of joked on my live stream playing this that it felt like I was building IKEA furniture where it was just pictures. I appreciated the pictures. I needed a little bit of text to go along with the pictures, and I also wish we weren't given the tutorial all at once. And another major con I have for the game is that it's all cleaning. At least in my couple hours, it's all cleaning. If you don't like the cleaning part of this game, you're not gonna like it. I actually like the cleaning. Overall, No Place Like Home is a different type of farming sim game, which I appreciate. It doesn't feel like a copy of every single farming game ever. It definitely sets out to do its own thing, and I think it does that. It's less about farming, and it's more about exploration, cleaning, and finding animals too. And I feel like as I've been playing this one more and more, I've been enjoying it as I've gotten into it. So I'm excited to keep playing it to see what I really can do in this game after I clear through all of the trash. The next game on the list is called The Shape of Things, and The Shape of Things was very kindly gifted to me, so thank you so much to Hyper 3 Studios for gifting me a key to check out the game. Right now, The Shape of Things is available for PC, and my playthrough I did entirely on my Steam Deck, and it ran great. The Shape of Things is a relaxing puzzle game that takes the Rubik's Cube's basic concept but focuses it on real-life objects with more of a soothing, cozy vibe. In the game, you'll experience a relaxing atmosphere from the comfort of your own cozy room by solving small 3D puzzles inside collectible gachapons and find the original shape of things. The game features a multitude of locations and items to put back together, as well as the ability to change the atmosphere's time of day and weather to suit your ideal cozy needs. In the game, there are no time limits, no pressure, just puzzles and relaxation. Now let's get into my pros for The Shape of Things. The whole game. I think this game perfectly fits its simple description, but then is so much more than you think it's gonna be. The atmosphere is so relaxing, and the puzzles feel really exciting. I love the mechanic of getting the gacha capsules, which admittedly I did not know that what they were called. I just always called them growing up like the bubblegum type thing. They're not bubblegum, but it's like a bubblegum machine. What is that called? What is that called? A gumball! It's like, it's like the toy gumball machine is what, I didn't know what they were called. Now I know, wow. I love the mechanic that it is these gachapods that unlock the different areas, because you never know what's going to be coming next, and each location somehow feels cozier than the last. The puzzle mechanic itself is not overly complicated. You get to move pieces of a fragmented object together until it's the right shape. In actuality, it's a lot more difficult than it sounds. Oftentimes, I started the puzzle having no idea what I was trying to make, which made it extra exciting at the end when everything did click into place. You would think that the puzzles would be repetitive, being that it is just a Rubik's Cube style, but it isn't. Some pieces can only move certain ways, and sometimes they can't move at all, but they can only get bigger and smaller. This makes each new item and each new puzzle feel unique and challenging. As far as the cons go for this game, I don't really have any. I was so worried about this game feeling repetitive and just being one note, but I don't think it is. I was very invested in this one. Overall, The Shape of Things is a relaxing puzzle-solving game that gives you intricate puzzles that are challenging enough, but overall still maintains its cozy and relaxing vibe. The next game on the list is called EVERDREAM Valley, and I was very kindly gifted a key to check out EVERDREAM Valley, so thank you so much to Untold Tales and to Lurkit for gifting me a key to check out the game. This one is available right now just for PC, but it will be coming to Nintendo Switch some point in June. For my playthrough, I played it on PC. EVERDREAM Valley is a farming adventure with a dash of magic. By day, you'll restore your quaint homestead into a summer paradise. You'll raise crops, care for animals, and rebuild to your heart's content. But at night, you'll inhabit the various farmland creatures through your dreams and bring enchantments to the valley. Other than just farming, there's actually a lot to do. You'll spend the nights camping, building tree houses, catching and collecting bugs, going fishing, getting new clothes, cooking, taking photos, building furniture, and even going treasure hunting. Each little adventure gives you something back to help you grow your farm even more and unlock more story and side quests, all at your own pace. But at its core, it is clear EVERDREAM Valley is all about the animals. Now let's get into my pros for EVERDREAM Valley. The biggest pro I have for EVERDREAM Valley is the large amount and the adorable nature of all of the animals. Choosing what dog breed I specifically wanted out of over 10 options was definitely a highlight for me, and being able to play fetch with my dog and bond with it was absolutely what I needed. And every time I unlocked a new animal, it was ridiculously exciting. The art style for the animals and the game overall is really cute. It feels really childlike and whimsical and definitely brings a lot of joy. And I also really love that the game is about the animals rather than the actual farming itself. Most farming sims kind of treat the animals as an afterthought or solely a way to make money off of their goods. This one, it really feels like the animals are the star. That being said, let's get into my cons for EVERDREAM Valley. My biggest con is that after over 4 hours, which of course is not finishing or even really getting super far in, but I think 4 hours is, a decent amount of time enough. After 4 hours, you still don't get to do the most exciting part of the game, which is the dreaming. I was so confused on when that was going to happen, and it just felt like we never were going to get there. This game definitely has a slow start. I love a tutorial. You maybe not love a tutorial, but I need the baby stupid person tutorial so I know how to do everything. This game's tutorial is very long, and even though it is very long, I feel like they also don't tell you how to do everything. I totally get needing to grind to get to the good stuff in a farming sim, but the dreaming is not even mentioned at the beginning of the game at all. I would have loved a taste of the dreaming right off the bat and then make me work for it so I get to do it again. But just the fact that I spent 4 hours running around doing quest after quest after quest after quest and saw no sight of the thing that made me the most excited about the game, I was a little bit bummed. I'm sure it feels absolutely amazing when you get to that point. I just wish it came a little bit sooner. I also found the navigation in the game to be very confusing. There is a compass on the bottom of the screen that will include nearby landmarks, but I always found myself being turned the wrong way and never remembering where to go. Even though the map feels huge and it's easy to get lost in, it also, similarly to a couple other games on the list, feels kinda empty to me. The map shows the area we're in, and then it is bordered by an obscene amount of clouds. So I'm hoping that as you get further on, there are other places, perhaps like a town with shops or other people, because right now it's just me, my grandma and grandpa, the animals, and a lot of empty space. Overall, this is another one. I know I've got to put more time in it to really, really get to the best parts of the game. This game, more than any other one this month, I was so excited about. I love the premise of this game so much. I love the animals. I love the magic of the animals. I think this one is one that will be a slow game to start. But once you get to the good stuff, it's gonna be so good. So it just needs a bit more time and energy to it. Like I said, this is my first impressions review. My opinions absolutely can and will change on some of these games. But right now, how I'm feeling about the game is I see the potential. I just wish the exciting things came a bit sooner. And the final game on the list is called Planet of Lana. And Planet of Lana was also very kindly gifted to me, so thank you so much to Wistfully Games, Thunderful Games, and to Keymailer for the key to check out the game for the video. Planet of Lana is available on PC and on Xbox. Specifically, it's also on Xbox Game Pass. Planet of Lana is a cinematic puzzle adventure framed by an epic sci-fi saga that stretches across centuries and galaxies. The game follows the story of a planet that used to be a place of undisturbed balance between human, nature, and animal, but now it's become something entirely different. The disharmony that had been in the making for hundreds of years has finally arrived in the form of a faceless robotic army. Lana and her cat-like companion will need to traverse complex platforms and puzzles to save their friends and the world. Now let's get started with my pros for Planet of Lana. My biggest pro for Planet of Lana is that it does not feel like a video game at all. This is one of the most cinematic games I have ever played in my life, and it really feels like you are transported into a movie. The music is triumphant and beautiful, and the art style of this one is so captivating, and yet it's so simple. It's not overly complex, but there's just enough to make it stand out against other games. The gameplay mechanics are not overly complex either. I found the puzzles to be the perfect balance of challenging without being too challenging or too easy. And I really enjoyed the addition of Lana's cat companion as they add even more complexities to the puzzles. I loved specifically utilizing the cat to solve difficult puzzles. While this one isn't full of combat, you do need to strategically make your way around robotic enemies, which can be challenging and exciting, but it isn't super overwhelming and scary. And I also love that the game does not fault you for making mistakes. You can die in the game, which I did many times, and you get to start right back where you last left, which makes it a lot less stressful. And the overall biggest pro I have for the game is how compelling the story is, even though it is told through next to no dialogue. It doesn't need it. We understand what is happening. We are captivated and totally with the story on this one. And the opening sequence to the game is epic, heartbreaking, and the perfect start to get you excited to take an adventure. That being said, let's get on to my cons for Planet of Lana. Don't really have many for this one. I did, however, find that some of the many deaths that I faced in the game were a little bit jarring. We can also debate the level of coziness on this game, but I think overall it does manage to still feel very cozy, even though you are in a world of robots abducting people. But my one con is that if you are a cozy gamer, sometimes the reactions from the robots and when you die can be a little aggressive, kind of coming out of nowhere because the puzzles and the atmosphere does feel very soothing for most of the game. But when the robots like charge at you when you're about to die, or when you face plant after falling off the cliff onto like rocks, that's a little much. It's a little much. That's it. But that's really me grasping at straws for a con to say about Planet of Lana, to be honest. Overall, Planet of Lana is a unique sci-fi cozy game that perfectly manages being simple but absolutely effective. The story is captivating, the platforms are fun to traverse, and the puzzles are the right balance of difficulty. And this one is definitely one you can get sucked into playing the entire story in one sitting because it's that good. And there you guys have it. Oh my goodness. 11 cozy games reviewed in one video. I want to know what you guys thought. You heard a lot about what I thought. Let me know down below, what are your thoughts about any of the games I mentioned in this video? Or what other new cozy games have you been playing in the month of May? What have you been loving? What have you not been loving? What are you excited about? I want to know all of these things and more. Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please be sure to click the little like button, as well as subscribe for more cozy, chaotic content. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.